done. Got a lot of these young guys are learning to put. Camp is really officially here. We've had 3 or 4 good contact practices, so the bumps, the bruises, the bang, you see guys learning to push through. Happy with effort today, execution getting better, got to get better. Some of the older guys have jumped out. You know, I think Bobo is playing phenomenal football right now. Kermit is really coming on. The 2 young tight ends. Kerr is playing solid, very solidly. Izzo is becoming a heck of a player. I told Maven there was a couple of things at the beginning of the day I just send him on waivers, and at the end of the day I put him in the Pro Bowl. You see some things, but that's young guys got to get consistent, you know, and very pleased with that. Jonathan Vickers keeps jumping out at me, you know what I mean, and the skill guy level, right up front. Defense, of course, Jalen, Nile, Derek Notty's coming to get. I like Featherston. Featherston and Pugh on the edge are doing really well, and Sweat is really getting more practice time, and you can see the ability. I mean, Terrence Smith doing a really good job. You know, you see, of course, Nate being Mr. Steady Eddie doing things. Very pleased with a lot of guys. I mean, you know, it's been a good start. We've kicked the ball pretty well. Again, we're nowhere close, but I can, you know, you start to see some visions. And now we got to get young guys to. Those guys still got to have everybody. You know, those guys have just kind of stood to me the last couple of days.
Do you still foresee being able to use the tight end position like you had in the past with?
Oh, without doubt. Probably even have more depth now than we've ever had.
Coach started out mentioning 2 of your veteran wide receivers. Are they getting pushed by the young guys? It seems like they're a little spark.
Well, I think they are, but also been here. And the time you're a junior, I keep saying it, when you're out the junior year and you finally realize practice ain't, I mean, it's hard, but it ain't that hard. Coach is yelling, but listen to what he's saying. It's not that bad. He's trying to make me better. And all of a sudden, it's maturity. And they grow up, and their ability starts to come out. I mean, it's not it's being pushed by the young guys. I think it's just maturity. You know what I mean?
With all that youth, how important is it to have those guys performing at that level?
Oh, it's big time, because you've been in games, you've been in situations. And I don't mean just, it's not, sometimes you're the best by default. This isn't by default. This guy's making plays.
A guy like Bobo, you think he sees that, you know, Rashad's gone now and some of those.
No doubt. And I think he realized, you know, you get in there in the first time, it just, when you get involved, there's a thing called, you know, I belong here and I'm really good enough. Even though they all think it till you go out, it's like anything you do new. And then you do it, but then you start to really, the game just, as they say, the old term, slows down. You start to see things, you start to process more things, you make better decisions. Well, that allows your mind to be freer, so you're catching the ball, making plays. And he is, you know, I've been very, I mean, tough catches.
What's been your thoughts on the offensive line so far?
I've been pleased. I mean, we got ways to go, but we're mixing and matching. But we're getting the runs when we need runs. They're pass pro, the blitzes. We're bringing every blitz known to man at them because we need to. You got to be able to handle blitz pressure, you know, early in your offense. So we're trying to create all different looks. We're getting a lot of looks. I mean, we got ways to go, but their progress is coming.
You mentioned Kermit a couple days in a row. Now, what exactly are you seeing from him?
Consistency. And when he knows what to do and how to do it, he's allowed to play with that speed. And now he's catching the ball so much. I mean, he's using his hands and he's getting in space. He made a run today on a little play and actually I don't mean he got Jalen chasing, but I mean, just, you don't make him miss very often. You know what I mean? And just consistently making plays.
So missing so much this spring wasn't a problem for him?
Who's that?
Kermit was.
No, I mean, because he still knew what to do. And it's just sometimes guys are springtime heroes, they got to play in the fall. That's why I don't ever get too crazy about that. You know what I mean? But he's got an urgency about it.
Because of his skills, he's a guy you can.
Oh, Lord, you can do all kind of things. And when that ball's in his hand and you miss it, the numbers on the scoreboard change. And what he's doing, he's going deep a lot too. I mean, he's able to use it there.
Was there a little more, I don't know, expectations or something put on him because of one play in his career?
Yeah, no doubt. Because still, and he'd always been a great return guy. And where he was, they never threw a lot of balls. So details of routes, running steps is not routes. Learning how to play and interact in zone and man and all the things you see in college, sometimes just takes guys time and maturity. But he's still got to prove it. I mean, but so far I've been very pleased.
Derek Kelly's been getting a lot of reps with the ones at right tackle. How's he?
And guard, plays guard and tackle, can do both. He's going to be a really good football player. Very smart, conscientious, hard worker, tough guy.
Good shot to win one of those jobs.
Oh, no doubt.
Jimbo, some of those young guys, the freshmen, were out this morning. Is it just from after the first full contact practice?
No, I'm trying to think who it was.
Bruton
had a hammy bothered him. Robbins got dinged in the head. Frith got dinged in the head. And when you get in physical practice thing, you got to teach them how to play. But then we got 2 slight dings there. Ankle. He had an ankle coming from the spring and he healed up. He turned it about 4 days ago and he played on it. So we're giving, and it's starting to get worse. So we need to back him off for a day or 2 and then we'll get him back in there. But he's been playing, just trying to make sure he got real sore.
McFadden and Campbell were 2 more.
Campbell he caught a ball, great catch, and he fell down, hit the back of his head on the ground. and got that. Who was the other one?
McFadden.
McFadden's had a hamstring.
Okay.
He's had that for a couple days.
I asked you about Travis yesterday, and he's one guy when we talked about the spring with Rashard leaving, not just his talent but his leadership and that type of ability, kind of stepping into that kind of role.
He's growing into that role. He's not there yet, but I'm not disappointed in it. You know, taking that role is a lot harder. You know what I'm saying? But he made some nice plays today. We do a lot of things with him, so there's a lot on his plate. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes he's learning as he goes, but he's going to be a real. He made a great route in the red zone. He made a double move, which was crazy. Yeah, how good you can see his ability.
In that kind of game, that kind of guy can't be forced, right? I mean,
you got to force it, but then we'll give him a lot of things, and we'll figure out what he does real well, pull back, and then gradually add back. You know what I mean? We're throwing everything at him now.
Still waiting on Lorenzo Phillips.
Yeah, and should be today. And it has nothing to do with the grade is in. We know what it is. Just them getting it posted and putting it on official transcript is from the junior college. Has nothing to do with us, but we know what the grade is. So
hopefully it's a tomorrow.
It should be. It had to be posted by today. Okay. So it should be in there by tomorrow. He better be. I'm gonna send you up there.
What's Jalen Wilkerson's status?
Same thing. Done great in the class. Had to take it, getting it posted, and then the whole thing because he goes the whole time. He's ready to report, and all of a sudden the clearinghouse says a 9th grade class is not any good, and they told us on June 13th. And so the school's sending in all the stuff. Well, he said, well, if he went in school, then and he couldn't. That means he can't take another class because he'll have one class to replace. Mm-hmm. And if he did go into school and say, well, I'm gonna try and hope for the NCAA will clear that class, and they say no, then he becomes a non-qualifier. So we put him in. So he took his family paid for another one class, and it was a 9th grade class. I mean, they've had the thing for a year, and then he's taking the class, so it's just now finishing. So we didn't want to take the chance on him being a non-qualifier. It's a whole and nothing he did wrong or we did wrong. I don't.
Sense a little frustration.
No, I don't. Why would you wait till then to tell the kid when you've had the transcript forever? And it was a 9th grade class. But he will be fine.
Jimbo, is Reggie doing full contact?
Yes, he is. He is. And Reggie's got to play better. And I told him today, he's playing okay. He needs to play. Terrence jumping it. Terrence is really playing good. Reggie's playing good, but he needs to play better. He needs to play better.
I feel like we could hear Terrence a little bit more than in past years.
Heck yeah, you know what to do. He's playing. It feels good when you know what to do and you're playing good and you're pulling the pin. Allows you to open your mouth. It's hard to lead when you know you're not playing up to your capabilities. Not that he was bad, but I mean, it becomes that maturity, becomes that confidence, that comfort zone. I know what I'm doing, how I'm doing it. Everything just slows down, so I'm allowed now to do what? More things.
When you look at just from day to day the positives and negatives of different people, how do you just conglomerate put that together to evaluate somebody?
Well, evaluate their consistency and how well, and like, all right, young guys are going to make mistakes. All right, when they make them, does it take them 5 plays to recover? Does it get 4? People say, well, 4 is an improvement, then 3, then 2, and you point that out to them. And you learn to okay, if a bad play happens, learn not to let the next play happen. And that's mature, how quick they can do that, and the consistency which they can come back from bad plays with.
Do you have a leader in that receiver group yet? Anybody
right now, Travis is doing a good job, but Bobo is. I mean, really good job. I mean, I can't say that now. But guys, right now, knock on wood, he is playing really good.
You mentioned getting on to Maven.
And he's competing, and he's stepping up.
You mentioned getting on to Maven. As a guy that didn't play a lot of football,
it has a lot to do with it.
Yeah.
And Maven is a perfectionist. See, some people, as crazy as this sounds, some people who are perfectionists have a harder time early than guys who aren't. Some of them don't care. Well, when you're a perfectionist and it bothers you, you know what I'm saying? Then you get down on yourself, and that's what I'm talking about. Don't go in a shell for 5 minutes before you come back out. Now, when he comes out, my God, he's he's everywhere. But that's what Izzo is really doing well, playing unbelievably consistent. But he's played more football. But it's great to see Maven come back, and he ended up having a really good practice. But that's the things that young players do. It's what people don't understand. All right, let it cost me a play, not a series or 2 series in a game. You know what I'm saying?
How encouraging is it when you see those 2 young guys? I think Izzo, you've had to get on him a couple times too, and he's responded.
No doubt. And I'm with Kerr. I keep saying it. Jeremy Kerr is blocking and playing his tail off too. I've been very pleased with that position right now. We got work to do. That's the scary part. Can be so much better.
It's exciting with the creativity you can have with those 2 guys.
You can create more matchups and problems out of regular people and silver people. In other words, 2 tights, 1 back, and all that stuff, than you can with all people love all the spread stuff. Matchup problem, people know what you do. You can create a ton of things like pro ball with those kind of guys, and we'll be able to do a spread or that hopefully in time.
One more.
Is the second practice like more mental, like when you do?
No. We're going to it's mental. Now we'll be emphasis a lot of empty sets, a lot of third down, a lot of red zone. We banged hard this morning. Be more skilled. You know what I mean? We'll be in shells, working on more third down stuff, long distance stuff. We're not creating piles of people. You know what I mean? Loose down plays, red zone plays, going empty, making the defense play empty, and all those kinds of sets.